Hi, welcome back to another episode of Tape Time with Tom. My name is Chris.
I'm Kate.
And today, we're going to be talking about Godzilla-Palooza at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater in Lehighton, Pennsylvania. Anyway, let's hop to it. Godzilla-Palooza at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater was a hell of a lot of fun. It was an experience to behold. I had a fantastic time. Did you have a good time?
I did. I slept through a lot of it, but it's not the movie's fault. I'm an old woman, and the showtime started late. It was triple features or quadruple features?
It was three movies a night for 2 days, so 6 movies total. I saw 6. Kate saw 1.5.
Yeah.
But anyway, for those who don't know, the Mahoning Drive-In Theater was one of the last drive-in theaters in the U.S. that's solely projecting on film, unless otherwise stated, and all revival house kind of stuff. So nothing is new. It's all classics, and that's why every summer during their seasons from like April to October, each weekend is a specific kind of event. Like our first time there was a zombie weekend. I was there for a Universal Horror weekend, and our first time this year was for Godzilla-Palooza, and this was their second time doing a Godzilla-Palooza. Their first time was in 2019. They played 6 movies over the course of 2 days. The first movie was going to be Monster Zero from 1965, Destroy All Monsters from 1968, and Godzilla's Revenge from 1969. That was the first night. And then the second night from 2019 was Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, Godzilla versus Megalon, and then a secret movie. But then they've only had a handful of other times where they actually played in the Godzilla movies. In 2021, they had a series called Tunnel Vision Tuesdays where they just have a single movie on Tuesdays where they just have like a one-off, and they had 2 Godzilla movies that year. One was in April, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and then one in July, Godzilla versus Gigan. And then we're going to cut to 2022, where we went to Schlockerama and we saw Godzilla 1985, and they had a little prologue of Bambi meets Godzilla, which is amazing. I love that short film. It's great. But this year is technically only the second time they've had a Godzilla-Palooza, and I'm really hoping that they have more of these.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a lot of fun.
There's a lot for them to pull from.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's for sure. So this year's movies, they showed, on Friday, June 30th, they showed Terror of Mechagodzilla, Mothra, and Godzilla 2000. And then on Saturday, they showed Godzilla vs. King Kong, Rodan, and then the long title, Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. That's from 2001.
So it was Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
And then Mothra.
Yeah.
And then, do we see Rodan?
Rodan was on the second night.
I do like Rodan a lot.
The squishmallow of Rodan is freaking cute.
Yeah.
But you got to see Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Yes.
Do you remember anything from that night?
It sounds like I had like a crazy night, but I really just couldn't keep my eyes open. Yeah, that one was fun. It was like aliens and kaiju, and then it was like 2v1 at one point. Mm-hmm. But it was a good time from what I can remember. I really wanted to stay up late for Mothra.
Yeah. So
she's my gal.
My problem, it's not much of a problem. The Mothra movie is really cool, but the issue that I have is I was going to tell Kate oh, just stay up until you see Mothra, but then you don't see Mothra until the very end.
Yeah.
Which is a little upsetting. So the fun thing for this weekend was Terror of Mechagodzilla was the English dub. Mothra, I believe, from what I remember, was in Japanese, and then yes. Godzilla 2000 was. I think everything else was a dub, but Mothra was the only one that was the original Japanese print.
Yeah,
which is cool. First night, I was very scared because we had gotten tickets, and then the weather was turning sour on our weather apps and stuff, and I was like, oh no, is it going to be raining the whole weekend? Thankfully, first night was completely dry. It was perfect night. I didn't have to go in the car at all. Second night, I watched King Kong versus Godzilla outside, and then midway through Rodan, I had to go in the car, and then it was kind of like, it wasn't necessarily complete downpour, but it was raining for the last feature.
Definitely, it's more fun to be able to like sit and watch in the grass or in your chairs. It's more enjoyable with no rain. So,
did you watch any Godzilla movies when you were younger?
Yes, we grew up watching Godzilla movies. My dad really liked them, so we would do fun like movie nights with him when my mom was out of town, which was always great. And I remember watching like some, I couldn't tell you what they were, but there were some interesting ones over the course of my life growing up. But yeah, we definitely watched them.
I've seen a bunch, but I wouldn't be able to tell you which ones they are because they all kind of blend together a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're recording this a little later, but I wish we could have done it a little sooner, but I'll do my best to recount each of the movies. So Terror of Mechagodzilla is technically, I think, the last Ishiro Hondo and the last movie of the original Toho series. And I have that Criterion box set. I'll take a picture of myself holding it like a fish in a second. Do I remember anything? Let's go back to the letterbox, because the bare bones notes I jotted down are entertaining, at least. I think so.
Yeah, I cannot help you on your recall for any of this
No.
because I was fast asleep in the tent.
So, Terror of Mechagodzilla. What did I write? And I wrote how I really like how Interpol was such a prevalent character occupation in the 70s. Like, I don't see any characters in movies now.
Does Interpol exist?
I'm Interpol.
I guess it does, but it's not. Yeah, it's definitely like a weird like spy.
Pseudo-spy kind of thing? Police?
Adventure trope, like, for that generation of films, is to have someone be involved with Interpol.
And then I wrote down 80-minute movies are the best, which I agree. Especially, I think every single movie at a drive-in should be 80 minutes if there's like 3 movies. Mothra, so all I wrote down was New Kirk City, Roselica. What's interesting for Mothra is how they invented a country called Roselica, where it's like a weird blend of the US and Russia. It's like Japan's perspective of both of them combined. I always love seeing, especially in the Japanese print for this, like having the American actors who are like stationed out there, and then they're like, oh, you want to get a job on a Godzilla movie? Like, okay, I can get a couple bucks. And then you're like, oh no, it's Godzilla, or it's Mothra. So it's kind of fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the last one, I didn't write anything for the last movie of that night. What was the last one of that night? Godzilla 2000. Godzilla 2000 was...
When was that made?
Oh, I imagine it was 2000.
You imagine?
Yeah, or 1999, one of the two. It's a blur because I was very tired. I'm pretty sure I drifted off at least once or twice. I don't remember what happens too much. But I watched it. I watched it for sure. I'm going to say it.
I can't claim such victory.
No. And then the next night is King Kong versus Godzilla, which is my personal favorite out of the kaiju movies. I love King Kong and I love Godzilla, and I love how they're still fighting together. And I really like how it still holds a lot of the drama in the horror, capital H horror, from the first Godzilla movie. And then I think it's the perfect balance point between the first 2 Godzilla movies and then the slapstick kaiju genre, as Toho has later on. Mm-hmm. Plus, I love seeing King Kong like shove a tree down Godzilla's throat. I think it's the funniest thing.
Yeah, that's an iconic scene.
It's great. I know a lot of the middle portion where they're on the Japan doing Polynesian blackface is problematic to say the least.
Yeah. But we don't need to get into it.
We don't need to get into that right now.
We all know that that's not acceptable
anymore. And I'm pretty sure they would never do that again. But Rodan was the second movie on the second night's triple feature. And that movie it's a lot of fun. That was hyped up a lot on the Video Archives podcast with Roger Avery and Tarantino earlier this year, and they were saying how they love it and they watched it on tape. I never watched it on tape. I saw it for the first time 2019 or something, just on the Criterion channel. I mean, look at this squishmallow. It's amazing. It's freaking cute.
Adorable.
But yeah, the ending of Rodan is really cool. It's just like a bunch of volcano footage, and the miniatures are amazing. It really shows how Ishiro Honda was able to blend all this like miniature action and the big scale action, and then the people footage. It's a weird way of saying it, but he really kicked it out of the park, I'd say. And then the last movie, you were fast asleep by this point. Was it Mothra?
The long-titled one.
Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All-Out Attack from 2001. What did I write about this? I wrote kick-ass, reminiscent of the underrated and desperate need of restoration 2002 video game Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee. Please let me know in the comments if you've played that game. That game was awesome. It's hard to choose as a mother of 4 squishmallows. Oh. What's your favorite of the squishmallows that you purchased immediately after our weekend?
I hadn't even left yet. And
you're in the tent.
I was in the tent.
I come back after, Destroy All Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Attack, and she's like, I bought them all.
I got them all. I gotta say, I thought it would be Mothra, because I do like Mothra, but Rodan is just so freaking cute. I can't help it. His little wings, his little eyeballs.
His little beak.
I guess it's a girl, right?
Yeah, I think it's technically a girl. There's 2. But yeah. Do you have any last words? Great last word. I really hope that they do another Godzilla-Palooza. Hopefully it's not like every 3 years. I really hope they have another one next year. I think this one was popular enough to warrant having this be an annual event.
The parking lot was filled.
Oh man, it was packed. It was great. As a wish list for a Godzilla movie, I really hope that they play. I really want them to play the first one. I think that'd be great. I know that they were coming up on 55, but I think it would be like 2 years from now would be like some sort of decennial anniversary, I think. But I hope they get a chance to play that one. And I want more of the 90s movies, because I have a handful of those on DVD that we somehow managed to acquire from Blockbuster before they, died.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Rest in peace. And we will be seeing you guys again soon. We'll be trying to do some more of these discussion tapes, and we'll be doing more commentaries in the near future. Always rewind, but more importantly,
be kind.
Be kind. See you guys later.